So I don't think it's close. I don't think it's close that Luka is the NBA MVP as of today, January 10th, right?
I'll
And
give you that.
a lot of times, right, when you say you don't think it's close, I think to most of the basketball world, that comes off as a disrespect to everybody else who's playing at like a supreme high level, like your i.e. Jason Tatum's. But it's less about it has nothing to, and saying it's not even close. Luka should be the MVP. It has nothing to do with disrespecting the body of work of Jason Tatum, and it has everything to do with making sure the proper respect for what Luka has done is given to him. You know what I'm saying?
I believe that.
And so, right, so, and I didn't want to just come and like spew. I was just, yeah, it's Luka because he, triple doubles. You know what I'm saying? All right, so again, Luka, what Vegas has top 10 to possibly win MVP. Luka, Jokic, Giannis, Jason Tatum, Kevin Durant, Joel Embiid, Ja Morant, Donovan Mitchell, Stephen Curry, Zion Williamson. All right, so we're gonna do what? We're gonna take Steph and Zion off the board because they've been missing in action, right? And so Luka right
Joel
now,
Embiid too recently.
yeah,
He's
definitely
missed some
because yeah,
games
he
too.
hasn't played as much as well.
Out of sight, out of mind right now.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Even though he
Luka,
did come back tonight, 30-11. So I will say that.
I would think, bro, and I think his
James
I
Harden
think
with a
his
triple double though. 16, 15, and 12. Not glamorous, but 15 assists
I'll
is
take it.
nuts. 15 assists
Um,
is nuts.
real quick off topic, we're gonna get back to Luka, but you saying he had 30 and 11, and I think his projection was like right at 30 and a half, Joel.
Don't quote me on that. I don't know if he ended up because I don't think the starters played the last 8 or 9 minutes of that game. So he could have very well probably went for 50. I think he ended up with what?
Let me see. 36. Okay. He finished with 36.
And what I tell you, Shea had 17 at half. Bro, they had him at 29. He ended up with 26. I took him under. He didn't get me
Yeah,
this
because
time.
this taco was like 25 and a half or something.
Oh, I took the regular square.
I'm going on the
Come on, bro. It's like clockwork to everybody all the time. Like, bro, want you some money? Tuesday, reverse taco. You're welcome.
Yeah, but getting back to the NBA MVP, so you take Steph and Zion off, and that would leave A more. But I won't go through all that. I give you a case for Luka. Luka obviously averaging 34 points per game. That's the highest in the NBA. Joel right behind him with 33, but hey, number one is number one. Then he has the highest usage rate in the league, which obviously is a no-brainer. He has a 38.5% usage rate. That's the highest in the league. Talk about Joel winning in a tough West that's normally always tough. The Mavs are the third seed, over 500 with 23-18 records. I lied. They're the fourth seed. The Mavs are the fourth seed in the West with 23-18. On top of that, he's second most in triple doubles with 9, right behind Jokic with 11. Okay. Then we talk about the most 50-point games. He got 3, including one of those being a 60-point triple double, right? When he had dropped, what was it? He dropped 60, 21,
60.
and 10.
Nah, the
60,
21 is
10.
actually crazy. That's 21 boards too.
That's 21 boards.
Hey man. It's hard to get 20 rebounds in the NBA, bro.
Stat line, bro.
It's hard to get 20 rebounds in the NBA.
No matter who you are.
I don't care who you are, bro. And for him to be 6'7", 6'8", getting 20 boards, 20 plus boards.
Yeah, bro.
That's extremely tough.
Right. So, and on top of having the most 50-point games, it includes the 60, 20, and 10 games, 60 and 21 and 10 game. Right. So you got all that measuring up for Luka, right? Now, think about all the players that I had said before, right, in terms of the top 10. Out of all of those players, when they don't play, their team has won at least one time without them this season when they don't play, when they're not in the lineup. Out of those 10 players, Luka is the only one whose team is undefeated. I lied. Forgive me, not saying they're winless.
Reverse undefeated.
Right, they're winless. They're winless when Luka don't play at 0-4. Everybody else's team has won at least one game without them. And so when you talk about truly, like the ultimate of like most valuable, yes, everybody is valuable in their own capacity. But I think if you talk about most valuable, right, I think you could possibly picture the Celtics being as good as they are. You could possibly see them winning, maybe not a conference series, a conference final series or a final, but you could possibly see them winning a series without Jason Tatum. I think it's a fair thought process.
No.
If they are one seed, you don't think they could take out a play-in team without JT?
Well, if you're the one seed, you're not playing a play-in team. Number one, you're playing an 8 seed.
Which is the play-in team.
It could be in theory, right? If the play-in team would knock off one of those lower seeded, because the lower seed goes up against.
You had 7.
I'll give it what you're saying though, in the spirit of what you're saying. A lower tier team. Yeah.
It's a thought process possibly worth entertaining. Be like,
I'd give them I give them a decent chance to do that without JC. A decent chance.
What are the Mavericks doing if Luka's not playing?
None.
You know what I'm saying? 0, right? And so like, okay, and so like when you talk about even furthermore, like who's doing a lot with the little, obviously that's Luka. But like you look at Giannis, right? You just talk about like help. Giannis got Drew, and they still have the championship pieces that they once had when they won the championship. Tatum got Jalen, Marcus, Horford, and they still have that finals appearance pedigree group that they had, right? KD got Kyrie, Embiid, Trigger Maxo, Harden, Ja, Bane, Brooks, that up-and-coming emerging Jan Jackson Jr., like that core group that they building, Mitchell, Allen, Garden, Mobley, right? And Curry, he got his championship pedigree, Clay, so on and so forth. Let Brandon Ingram possibly, get healthy second half of the season. Zion got him, CJ McCollum. Jokic, you could say Jokic ain't got nobody. However, you could pay homage to getting in rhythm and possibly coming back and working himself to take a little bit of load off of Jokic and Jamal Murray. Who is Luka's running mate?
Christian Wood when he feel like balling.
When he feel like it, right?
Yeah, he ain't because and I don't want to even take a shot at Christian Wood because I think he's had a pretty decent. I think better than decent. Like he's been averaging good numbers. I think he's averaging close to
surprisingly coming off the bench this year. I think most people thought
he's actually been starting the last 15 games. So okay. I think Jason Kidd did go ahead and make the switch. And I know why he took him off the bench. It wasn't no slight to Christian Wood. It was just like, man, we don't have nobody coming off the bench that can spell Luka. So at least we don't get all our offense within the first unit, right?
Group. Yeah.
But at some point, it's like you gotta call a spade a spade. Christian Wood is the best big you got on your team. You gotta start him. So I think as in that starting role, he's been averaging close to 20 and 10, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think at 10 rebounds, but he's been averaging close.
Yeah, with Christian Woods, he's the next highest usage rate player for the Mavericks behind Luka. So Luka at 38.5% usage. Christian Wood is at 26% usage. And that's the next closest to Luka, considering all he produces. But yeah, man, like I say, in all of Luka's great heroics, bro. I understand in the NBA community and NBA world how saying it's not even close can come off as a slight to the Jason Tatums and what the trajectory Joel was on before he kind of got into that out of sight, out of mind pocket. But it has nothing to do with disrespecting those great players and everything to do with paying the proper respect to Luka, bro. Like what Luka is doing right now, it's insane. It's not a matter of will Luka score 30. It's a matter of how is Luka going to actually score 30 tonight. I watched Luka against I remember watching Luka on Christmas Day against the Lakers, and the Lakers came out trying to double team him. And I was just like, they double teaming Luka. And Luka was like very slow, wasn't fighting the double team at all. He was kicking it, passing it. I'm like Luka on Cadillac this game against the Lakers. I'm not sure how many. Maybe he had.
End up turning up out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. And it was just like, it's not a matter of if, it's just about how.
Not a matter of if, only a matter of when. When is gonna start raining?
Yeah, man. So I mean, also too, right? And for Jason Tatum, right? You talk about the NBA being about like storyline and narrative. I feel like the storyline around Luka and all his greatness will be like, wow, is this going to be like the third straight consecutive year a European player takes the MVP in the NBA, right? Continuing to push, just the international marketing of the league. And I don't know. And sometimes there's players where it's just like, hey, not as if like they don't earn it, but there's a ceiling for certain players. And I feel like the ceiling for Luka, considering his current situation and the type of team he's on, like his ceiling is like the MVP. Jason Tatum, while the MVP is very much so attainable, his ceiling is a NBA championship, right? And so I feel like it's those who can actually vote. One, I feel like to a degree, though he's been showing and improving in this season, obviously people are human and they can be salty and try to hang like last year's performance over your head or whatever the case may be. But I feel like for Jason Tatum, like the narrative isn't about whether or not you're good enough to win the MVP of the league. Like it's about can you propel your team to like win a championship. And so I think that little nuance like goes into like some voting people's heads where it's just like this MVP is about Luka. Like we worried about you in the playoffs, Jay. So yeah.